And now here's a little bit about the history of Premier Pigments, Sandy Hammond's Premier Pigments founder, and their mission. Sandy Hammonds has been practicing and teaching intradermal cosmetics since 1988. To date, she's taught over 12,000 physicians, nurses, cosmetologists, and tattoo artists the fundamentals of intradermal cosmetics. She owns and practices in a very successful clinic in Arlington, Texas, where she's completed thousands of procedures on clients from around the world. She's completed numerous procedures on well-known models, actresses, and physicians. She also leads the research and development department for camouflage of vitiligo and burn scars. She is supported by a team of physicians who specialize in the treatment of skin disorders, and the story behind her start in teaching intradermal cosmetics illustrates the reason that her program is considered to be the highest caliber program currently offered, which is the American Institute of Intradermal Cosmetics. She took her first course in permanent cosmetics in 1988, working as a cosmetologist prior to that time, and had a large client base with whom she could practice. Well, she felt the course that she took to learn the basic procedures of intradermal cosmetics lacked quality information. As a result, many problems arose in the early days of her practice, and she found that the pigment would not stay permanently, and clients were in enormous pain during and after the procedures. So the clients became discouraged with the procedures, having to return many times for touch-up applications, as well as having to endure many hours of painful application and reapplication. So she was determined to learn how to improve the techniques and the final results. So she began taking courses throughout the United States. She remained frustrated by the lack of quality in the educational programs offered, and found that most of the instructors teaching the courses had very little experience in actually doing the procedures. So as a result, these instructors were teaching methods that were ineffective and their information was inaccurate. Most of the people who took the courses ended up becoming discouraged and or quitting. So she was frustrated and concerned about the quality of pigments, equipment, and supplies used in the courses and offered for sale to the students, that were offered for sale to the students. So in her travels, she found others were experiencing the same problems of poor quality pigments requiring multiple touch-ups, excessive pain, and disappointing results. Light brown pigments would turn pink within a few months, dark brown pigments changed to purple, other colors would fade to almost nothing over time. So she was determined to learn how to perform intradermal cosmetics correctly and began seeking information from physicians and tattoo artists. She found little information that worked effectively, so topical anesthetics had little or no effect on the pain experienced, and finally found a topical anesthetic that worked effectively and developed techniques that created a pleasing, reasonably pain-free result. She was sometimes told that only iron oxide pigments are FDA approved for use under the skin, but then she began searching for the truth from the FDA and from pigment manufacturers. She experimented with different pigments of different chemical makeup of different and found answers to pigment performance through research and experience. She opened a clinic and a medical office building in Dallas where she could work more closely with the skin and its diseases. The clinic was very successful, and she performed over 600 procedures and grossed over $125,000 during the first year. And then referrals grew and clients came from as far away as Canada and Mexico. She became adept at camouflaging scars, vitiligo, burn wounds, and other skin imperfections. So, the techniques and pigments that she developed virtually eliminate the need for multiple touch-ups of cosmetic procedures and allow complex paramedical procedures to be accomplished as a process. So, as a response to the many requests she received from physicians, technicians, and students to share knowledge and experience, she prepared this course and text as guides for those interested in joining the rewarding field of intradermal cosmetics, and for those who are struggling because of inadequate prior instruction. It is important for the student to thoroughly study before electing to practice as an intradermal cosmetic technician. So that's a little bit about the founder of the American Institute of Intradermal Cosmetics, the company where I train. So when I recommend and use Premier Pigments, it's based on experience, almost 10 years experience working with those pigments specifically, and under somebody who's had years of their own experience and years of developing products and using supplies that are necessary and effective and safe. So these days there's a variety of different quality permanent pigment lines. For instance, you heard from LI. Permablend is another one. Eternal Ink, I believe Scalpa products can be used. However, I'm just really experienced with the Premier Pigments, and I agree with Sandy Hammonds and her experience and her mission with Premier. So ultimately, what you'll want to do is try a few different pigment colors, try a few different machines, see if what's a good fit for you. The machines, as far as finding a machine that you want to use long term, you're going to want to find something that fits your hand and feels comfortable and is basically an extension of your own hand. So, there's no one way or one line that has everything that you need. So I do encourage you to try new things and experiment a little with what works best for you.